need a counter for these people, a counter, can count the middle, and a counter for these. So I can talk about like seasteading. Wow, left-hand writing is tough. Anyone want to write? What's right?
Talk about what you're most passionate about. Ambidextrousness.
Seasteading, ephemeral.
I can't spell. All right.
Seasteading, ephemeral.
Just put EI.
Ephemeral. Can do like lifestyle, like I don't know, diet, exercise, sex. What?
Brain enhancement.
Brain enhancement.
All this stuff.
Lifestyle. Okay, seasteading, ephemeral, lifestyle. Any other high-level topics?
Duct tape medication.
Okay. Okay. All right. Everyone, raise your hand if you think the best thing for me to talk about is seasteading. And I need someone to count there. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 7. That's not going to win. Okay, ephemeral. I think let's talk about ephemeral. Okay, I need help counting. Someone count there and there.
Apple 2011 ephemeral not be shut down by insurance as well.
11 here. How many on this one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 6, 7.
And how many were here?
It looked like 20 or so.
Okay, like 19.
Landed in my lap.
Okay, and lifestyle, like sex, drugs, cognitive enhancement, rock and roll. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, ephemeral.
Woo!
Okay,
Ephemeral.
so,
You have 4 minutes left after the voting.
okay, one sentence short questions.
What was different between the planned event for 2010 and what we actually did in 2009 that drove the insurance cost up so much?
We had no insurance in 2009.
Yeah, so I guess the question
Nothing has
then was,
changed.
why was it considered necessary for 2010 but not for 2009?
There was a much larger staff and volunteers, so there was more people who would have had to have said, okay, we trust that this will be okay and we won't get sued. So general scaling, and also feeling the larger the event is, the more likely it is that something bad actually will happen.
Like a shoulder dislocation.
Like a shoulder dislocation.
What about possibility of removing Seasteading Institute from exposure by just saying, hey, the idea of ephemeral is a community thing now. We just endorse it. We'll just help and endorse like anybody else. We're not responsible.
So I mean, it could be done totally as a community event, but my feeling is that without organization, it'll be. I mean, like, look at how long it took us to get anchored out here. Like, because there was no, like, central barge that was going to drop down really firmly and everyone could anchor to, which was the plan with insurance. So I think that without, like, resources devoted to it, it will not be as good. And with resources comes responsibility, and so comes the need for insurance. But I like the idea that this year is an experiment, and next year maybe we can combine both of them by having, like, a perimeter within which we have insurance and safety, and then outside the perimeter, people can have their self-built structures or whatever. So we can kind of have the organized, the common space, the medical facilities, etc. But also people can build whatever crazy shit they want, like flamethrowers.
What's your 5-year plan for numbers, location, and resources?
Okay, 5-year plan. Looking for a big scale up next year in the Bay, like to many hundreds. Like counting day trippers, I'd love to break 1,000, but I'd say at least like 500, 700. Locations is probably the Bay for a while. Like if the Bay works out well, which I think it will, I think we're actually most likely to split off a second event for the future when we're ready to go pioneer, because as many people have correctly pointed out, the leap in difficulty between like Bay and just outside the mouth of the Golden Gate Bridge is gargantuan. And I think there's a lot of advantage in having a very, very accessible event in the Bay that lots of people can come to and that can grow and maybe become a profit center to drive the research, and the smaller group of pioneers who go do the hardcore ephemeral later. So I'd say like scaling up to 500 to 1,000 counting day trippers next year, and then I don't know, roughly like 2x each year, and then splitting off a much smaller pioneers group that will probably be like 1/20th the size in 2 to 3 years. So 2012, 2013. And then that group in maybe 3 to 5 years can get outside to international waters. And hopefully we can find like solutions for international waters that will bring down the barrier to where we can have an accessible event there. So that's a great question. Context. Someone hasn't asked yet.
What are the problems that you're trying to solve by identifying by doing this?
Basically, it's kind of everything that we can cut down incrementally. So it's things like the waves, the currents, like how many people it is, the degree to which we're using customized technology versus like bringing out a bunch of houseboats, the legal environment. It's everything, all the key problems, you know, incrementally advance along all those. And if we get stuck on one, then the fact that one of the incremental things is scale, just number of people and amount of interest, means that it just grows the demand for and the resources available to like bust whichever one is going slowly. You know, like if everyone at Burning Man, like those 50,000 people, if there's some technological problem that like they had to solve or contribute to solving that would get Burning Man to actually be like truly autonomous and self-government, they could solve a really hard problem with that number of people who are that excited.
One more question?
Okay, one more question, short. From this, that'd be this deck. Okay, another one.
Really?
Well, I was wondering, maybe
Okay.
the idea about commercial space, like Burning Man, mostly non-commercial. What are your thoughts about having vendors?
Yes,
you
it's
know,
just a question of scale. I mean, it's kind of weird, right? I mean, like as humans, we've got our different ways of relating to things. There's like the tribal, like friendly, exchanging way, and there's the commercial part of your mind. And the smaller the group, the more natural it is to have it be kind of extended family-like and be giving stuff away. But as it scales larger, we definitely like to move towards the commercial side. And Burning Man bans this, but I've seen this at other festivals, like the Penza 4 that my dad founded like 35 years ago. That's now 12,000 people a year every summer for 1 to 2 weeks. It's like it started out with not much of a commercial sector, but now there's like this giant medieval shopping district, and there are food courts, and you can, you know, hire people to do everything for you. So
My boat has a liquor store.
his boat has a liquor store.
I
mean, I like the spirit latte, but you chose the wrong. You chose the wrong mark.
Great. We're already awesome. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thanks for listening.
We'll be a heroin too.